What's up everyone, Omade here with another episode of the show Rig on Fire. Today we're gonna take a look at the almost every single piece of gear that Steve Vai uses. How is everyone out there? Thanks for watching the Rig on Fire. As I said, today we're gonna take a look at something very cool here. And I want you talking about 3 or 4 aspects related to this subject here, the Steve Vai Gear. My signal is going to be the Ibanez Jane 77FP. The Marzo pickups is the Evolution pickups, the same pickup that Steve Vai uses today, among other ones. After that, I'm going into this pedal, the Morley Bad Horsey. After the Bad Horse, I'm going into the Gemini Distortion, a signature pedal made for Steve Vai. And another piece of gear, I think the more important piece of gear here is the preamp from Synergy, Steve Vai signature. And after that, I'm going into the emulation of the same power amp that Steve Vai used, the Fryette KT88 power tubes. And I'm going to load this impulse response from 2 notes based on the real cabs that Steve Vai used to use back in the day. So, first of all, lots of people say the tone is on your hands. Could be true. You know, if you're practicing a lot to sound like someone that you love so much, you can end up very close to the person, right? But the person is the person. It's very hard to have the same peak attack and everything. But sometimes you're going to sound like that person because you play every single riff and licks from that person. And of course, you sound like the person, but not the tone. The tone is another thing. Sometimes you can use a tone very close to the person, play totally different, and you sound different, you know? At the end of the day, that thing, the tone is on your hands, it's kind of true, but at the same hand, it's not that true. You know what I mean? It's something in between. So I try to copy every single settings, every single knob position to end up with the most Steve Vai tone possible. But there is one thing. If I'm going to use those tones for my stuff live, it's going to be a disaster. It's not for me, you know. And I think this is a very good thing to think about it. Because at the end of the day, you need to find your own voice, even when you're talking about tone. Or not. There is no such a thing like rules written on the stone, right? So, here I use the clean section. Steve Vai used this clean section as a crunch, because for clean sound, he used the Bassman from Synergy. It's a Fender preamp. And the high gain channel is going to be for solos and other riffs, whatever. And he used 2 different boosts. The Gemini here has 2 different pedals. This is a distortion based on the DS1 from Boss, and this is an overdrive based on the Tube Screamer, I think. Heavily modified. They don't sound like the original pedals, right? It was made for him. And that settings, everything, I think I'm going to sound very close to the real deal. Because I have almost everything here, even the guitar and the pickups. Talking about the style, I don't think... For me, it's a very particular way to think. I never spend too much time to take note by note solos and licks from my idols when I was young. I prefer spend more time listen and try to make the same thing on my own way. And so keep that in mind because I'm going to play something maybe close to the Steve Vai stuff here. as you were able to listen at the beginning of the video. Very important disclaimer, the following video that you're going to watch right now is the same video that I recorded for my other channel, my biggest channel, because I am from Brazil but I live here in the United States, and I have another channel with the same content. And I start this new channel since I live here. I think it makes sense, right? So if you end up here and you don't speak in English because you search for my name or whatever, there is a link for the same episode in Portuguese on the description to below. And the next video that you're going to watch right now is gonna be the video that I record for my audience in Brazil, but with my voice in English over my voice in Portuguese. Otherwise, it's gonna be freaking crazy. Shoot 2 different videos for 2 different channels. Thank you for understanding. Let's go to the video.
Well, let's start with this crunch channel here. It's gonna be a little bit bluesy. Well, very cool. You're going to have this crunch channel, light, overdrive. Let's go to the high gain channel. No delay. Let's see how it sounds. So this is the high gain channel of this preamp. It's not super tight, it's kind of muddy. As you can see, it's not a super metal tight tone, it's another thing, it's another kind of monster. For now, let's focus on Steve Vai melody stuff. As you can see, the tone is super fat and have lots of sustain, most because the distortion side of the Gemini. Let's try the other side and see what happens, because it's overdrive, right? I don't know, I think the overdrive side is most for other stuff. When he needs lots of sustain and gain, he uses the distortion side, I think. feel this side of distortion is more boomy. There is so much more sustain and less definition. Well, the distortion side sounds very Steve Vai-ish, right? Let's try the overdrive into the crunch channel. Very sweet tone, especially with overdrive engaged. A bit glassy. Let's try the fourth position of the pickup. Nice, very funkish. Very cool. That reminds me the Tender Surrender song style tone that Steve Vai used to do. Well, let's bring back the high gain channel again and try some wah pedal over this tone. I don't know why, but for my taste, the wah sounds better with this overdrive instead of distortion. Now you're talking. I think he uses like that maybe. Very cool.
Well, now I want to do something different. Now I want to use this gear on my way, with my pedal, with my settings, and see what happens. Because I think this could be a very cool platform to start something when you base your ideas on your idol's gear.
Signal flow, active pickup, EMG, solar guitar, into the Mud Killer goes to the preamp, and let's try something a little bit more metal. First of all, there is a switch for high gain here. Let's use that just to make it a little bit more brutal. But you know what? I'm going to use another impulse response. I'm going to use my impulse response, my 4x12. Maybe a little less gain here on the pedal. Let's tighten it up a little bit more. For solos, maybe I'm going to use these settings here. Let's turn it off this bright switch here and see what happens. Let's bring back the metal tone again, but this time less mids, more bass. This is my way to use this setup. Maybe it's a mix between me and Steve Vai.
As you were able to see, I end up in very different places. The Mud Killer pushing the preamp. The preamp is super muddy and boomy, and I love that because Steve Vai has another approach. He doesn't care about tightness and metal riffs. It's another thing. And, you know, I think it's pretty cool when you use your idol's ideas to go to another place, or simply use the gear and play in a different way. You're going to end up with maybe a very original stuff. Well, I really want to listen what you think about that kind of stuff. You know, there is a video here that I did with a couple of pedals, try to mimic in the tone of Steve Vai, and I think it's very good. Not that close, but was really good. So it's possible reach the same kind of tone but with a different gear. So let me know in the comment section what do you think about that. What do you think about that experience? What do you think about the last tone that I got here with the Muddy Killer and everything? And I think that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Please consider subscribing on this channel and watch this video here. This is my last video, the Heavy Droids, from my last album that I'm going to release at the end of 2023. And I think that's it. I hope you guys like this video. See you next time. I'm out.